So today, this is the third session of this webinar series 4, which the topic is on collaboration with issue manager. So we understand that the number of issues arising during an average project can be large, and resolving and tracking them effectively is always a challenging task. And hence, we bring to you this topic for more effective collaboration. So Archicad offer the issue manager and issue organizer for creating, tracking, and handling issues, providing a solid platform for proper issue management. And today's agenda for this topic is therefore to cover the issue creation workflows and management action with issue manager, and issue management with issue organizer, and lastly, importing and exporting of issues. So there are 3 workflows for issue creation which you can create issues from. So number 1, from any number of selected elements. Number 2, from the model checking results such as collision detection or physical model quality checking, and from the model compare results. So with the issue created, what are the management action you can do? You can either highlight elements, suggest new elements or modified elements, and delete elements. So not only that, we know that in any construction project, it will consist of multiple stakeholders and using many different BIM software or third-party applications as well. So you might ask, how can the issue be better managed in this kind of case for more effective collaboration? So in Archicad, we can export and import the issues in different formats from Excel, PDF, BCF, Solibri Insight, and Bluebeam connections. And this enables bi-directional information exchange with third-party application that supports the workflow concept of OpenBeam. So you might also ask, what is BCF? So BCF is actually a BIM collaboration format, which actually allows different BIM applications to communicate by leveraging on the IFC model. So the BCF works by transferring XML for metadata, which are contextualized information of an issue with reference via their IFC GUID. And in Archicad, Archicad actually supports the latest BCF 2.1 version, and with the advantage of able to adjust the element visibility based on the view saved in the issue. Not only that, the new description field from this version also allows for more detailed explanation and comment without even reserving the issue in Archicad teamwork project. So then what kind of information will consist inside this BCF file? So it consists of the issue name and the status of this issue, whether is it closed, in progress, or etc. And what's the priority? Is it urgent or is it high? Then what type of issue is this? Is this a collision between elements? And when is the due date of this issue need to be closed by? And who will be responsible? And labels. So for labels, in this case, is like what type of which discipline does this issue belongs to? Can be MEP, structural, or architectural. And then you can add in your description or comments, and also viewpoints and attachments such as markups. So now, without further ado, I'll begin on the okay, before that, so this is a diagram which shows how Archicad do the issue management. So now, without further ado, I'll begin on the workflow on the issue creation, followed by the management action and importing and exporting. So now let me switch to my Archicad. Okay, so I'll start with the model compare result, where you can do the issue creation. And this is following up from the first session. So in the first session, we might have made some changes, and as shown earlier or before, we have actually received and done the model comparison. So if you go to teamwork, this is how you can do the receive and compare again. So you can go to once you receive once VMAL has actually sent the changes, so you can do receive and then compare. Or otherwise, in this case, I actually received the updated model file from him. So let me switch over. So this is the updated model. So in this case, over here, you can see there are some changes where the garage and the guest room have been combined. into a bigger playroom. So going back, but before that, we realized that all these walls, right, are actually, if we go to the settings, we can see that these are actually load-bearing elements. So by changing this, we are not sure whether it will affect the structural integrity. So this raised some concerns. So you can actually raise the issue. So now let us do the model comparison first. So we can go to design, model compare. And on this page, we can close this first. So we can put current model and we can browse for file. So once you have placed the updated model file, you can actually start comparing. So over here, you can see all the model changes. And previously, I also have show how you can actually view the changes. So by using the scale. So this the bottom scale is actually to show those not affected elements. So if you shift it to the left, you will just make it invisible. And now we will just see what are the elements that has been affected or changed. So in this case, if we shift it to the left, it will be it will show stronger on the current model, which is my model before the update or changes, and to the left is the changes. So you can see that this is actually the garage and the guest room. So now after the changes is actually this wall. This wall has been shortened and this wall has been removed. So as mentioned earlier, this raised some concern on the structural integrity. So what you can do is that you can select on this wall and this wall as well. And over here, you can see it's being selected. You can right click and add new issue. So this new issue dialog box will appear together with the issue manager. And right now you can see that I can name this as check with structural engineer on the modifications. So right now you can see that we have this option of create new single issue, or this is because we have actually selected more than one element. So you can either uncheck it to create issues for each of the wall, or you can create a single issue for both of the wall. And on the right here, you can see this issue detail, the flag icon. So if you open up, this is actually showing you the issue details. So the first one is the issue of the issue name and who will be responsible. So in this case, I'll be assigning this to Vimao. So, and you can set the status. So as I mentioned earlier, so right now I'll put it as revision because this will require him to revise whether these changes can be done based on the structural engineer. And the priority for this, since it's concerned with the structural integrity, so I'll put urgent. And what type of issue this is? So in this case, I will say it'll be a suggestion for him to actually whether to make these changes or not. And I can also set the due date. So I'll set it as tomorrow because this is quite urgent. And you can see over here who actually last modified and by who, and also as well as the creation date and who created it. Then you can also set the label. So in this case, like earlier on, I have mentioned that this will be under which discipline issue. So this is under the structural discipline. So I'll put structural. And for over here, I can actually put the description. So for these updated changes, I do not know actually what is the intention of Vimao changing this. So I can actually ask him, may I know what constitute to these changes? Because the changes actually raises concern on the structural integrity. Then also like I can put in do note that this was load bearing please check with the structural engineer whether it is okay to modify. So something like this. So later on, I will show you what's this history all about. So now, for now, we'll click OK. And we'll click OK. And now you can see over here, our issue have been created. And because this wall have been removed, so it will be placed under the delete. And we here actually shorten this wall, so it will be under modified. So let me go through from the top first. So over here, you can see the active issue and with the name of the issue. And over here, you can create new issue, delete issue, and also the flag details. So if you click, you'll be just showing what we are seeing earlier. And at the bottom here, you can see the history. And if anybody actually made changes to this issue itself, it will be listed here. So you will document every changes made to this issue. So close this. So over here at the next section is the views. So you can actually add a new view. So I would like to actually show him this. So I will show this as 3D view, and I click OK. Then maybe I would like to show the ground floor as well, the floor plan as well. So over here you can see that the green is the received model and the red color is the changes being made. So I will add this view as well. So I'll put this as a 2D view and click OK. So over here, you can see there's a setting icon. So if you click on the setting icon, you can choose to list them, or you can view them in medium image. And this is based on whatever viewpoint that you actually capture. And you also can redefine my current view, rename, view image. If you view image, it will just give you a bigger picture, something like this. Then you can actually export and import image, then you can do markup. So once you click on the markup, you will just open up any image editing program, the default editing program that you have on your computer. So I'm using Windows, so it will show up Paint. So over here, I just want to highlight probably this wall to tell him to take note of it. Okay, this is actually, oops. Okay. Maybe I should use brush. Okay, so let's say I do something like this and I save and I close. So you'll see that this is actually being updated inside the views. So I can can also delete the view as well. So in this next section is the element. So this is what you can do once you have created the issues and what are the management actions. So if I click on here, you can see these are the various issues in this project. So I can actually assign these to Vmao. And once I assign this to Vmao, you can see that there's a message on this I can assign. So in this case, he's actually working offline, so I will not assign to him, but just to take note, you can assign this issue to respective team member in your teamwork project. And they will receive something, a message box, and then it will show you something like this. And when he's reviewing it, he can actually, if you see at the bottom here, he can actually accept, or he can actually accept portions of this adjustment. So if he select all these, he can also select to see, he can click this to show the selected elements as well. So in this case, if let's say he checked the structural engineer and is okay, then he can actually accept everything. Otherwise, if let's say he thinks that maybe only the color he's willing to accept it and the height, so then he can choose something like this. So in this case, I'll just click everything and just accept it. So once he accepts it, he can actually go to here under the status and change to close and assign back to me to let me know that this issue has been closed. And this is how you can do issue creation from model comparison. So let's say, another workflow that I mentioned earlier, there are total 3. So the next one will be from selected elements. So let's say I feel that why not just make this wall shift it to the back so we can have a bigger playroom or something, or I don't know what's the intention. So I can actually select, and I can actually add to new issue, or I can add to current issue. So current issue is referring to this issue here. So in this case, I actually want to shift this out to here. So I can actually right click again, and I add to new issue. So in this dialog, you can see you can add as a response to this issue. But now I actually want to create this new issue to discuss with Vima whether shall we shift this to create a bigger room. So I can put this as discussion with Vima for bigger room space. And again, this one I will not set, I will not go through again. So I will just click OK. And you can see that is highlighted. So I can actually shift them out. So now I can actually put this under modified, and I can shift this here and put this under modified as well. Then I will actually delete this. So I can add to this. Okay. And I just delete this. Yeah, so this is how it will show up. So this is how you can do issue creation from any selected elements. And again, I just want to add in a field view. So maybe I just put in 2D again, and so on and so forth. So then I can actually assign this to someone else. So I will assign this to Vimao. So this is assign and send. So over here, when I click this, you can actually switch to other issues. And this is actually a small window of the issue organizer. So let me show you how to open the issue organizer. So you can actually click over here. So this issue manager, you can also get it from your from this icon here, and you can go to this icon to open up the issue organizer for better management of your issues. So from the left here, you can see that this setting icon is how you can filter how you want to view your issues. So I can actually filter by who is responsible, and or otherwise by the due date. So I can shift it to have the due date, which is like the earliest due date by tomorrow, which are the issue needs to be cleared. So for now, I will not do anything for this. And the next one is, again, you can create new issues and you can delete issues. You can also change how you want to view the issues. So if I click on this, it will just show you the viewpoint that you actually save in your issues. Then you have additional settings. So this one I'll go through later. So right now over here, you can see that I can actually show the visibility of some of the issues that I want to see, or otherwise I can actually off it. And over here earlier on, I show you how to adjust the status and etc. And the priority, the teamwork owner, the due date. So now if I select on this, maybe for this, okay, for this, I will reserve this first. Okay, by these additional settings, you can either open them, you can rename issue details, which you already know how what you can do with these issue details, and you can do export and import, which I will cover later on. And for the issue text, okay, So for this issue tags, you can also, for the status, priority, and type, you can actually add in new values. So let's say for priority, I would like to add in, say, critical. Depends on what you want to show for your issue itself. So I can actually put something like this and I can add it, or I can actually replace any of the value. So this is what you can do with the issue tag. So I'll click OK now. And next, I will show you is how the third workflow on how you can do issue creation from collision detection. So maybe let me shift this here and this to here. Okay, so to do collision detection, go to design. Then you go to model check, collision detection. So you actually wanted to check whether if there is another any ducts actually collide with your walls. So in this case, by default, this dialog box will actually show up this criteria of element type. So you can actually put this element type is all types. Then you can go for the classification. So depends on what classification system that you actually use for the elements. So let me just show an example. Okay, so if I click on this wall here, so you can see that these are the classification being used. So going back to the collision detection. So in this case, I add in this classification. So you can actually add it from here and search for the classification, or you can just click from here and double click to add it in. So I'm using this classification version 2.0, and I'll be putting this under the construction element, because once you detect the wall, as long as anything is in the branch of the construction element, so if you click here, you can actually find wall here. And for this, since the duct is under the MEP element, so again, it's in the branch of the MEP element. So if you click here, you can actually probably find the duct here somewhere. So you can also search. Okay, it will not show you exactly. So, but then you can actually go and click one by one to find the duct itself inside. Okay, so now the volume tolerance will be 0, and the surface collision, okay, I will just keep it as this, and I'll do a check. Okay, so now it will show me all the collision detection that we have. And as we can see over here, this is probably the one that I want to see right now. So I can actually right click and show on floor plan. Let's close this, later we can open again. So you can see over here, this is where the collision happened. We can also see in 3D. Okay, so maybe we can do a marquee for a clearer perspective. So I will select this and show marquee in 3D. So this is where the collision happened between the duct and the wall. So I can actually, from here, I can do a issue creation by clicking on this, and maybe I will state this as create necessary openings, and I can click OK. So now if you go to the issue organizer again, you can see that this issue has been created. So this is how you can create your issues and also manage your issues. So the next thing is how, like earlier on, I have mentioned that in any construction project, you have many different stakeholders. So then they're using many different applications. So how you can actually better manage all these issues. So over here, let's say I want to do maybe an export first. So I select these three. I'll show you how to do the export first. So I can export to BIMcloud or export to my own file system. So over here, maybe I just put this as issue from Archicad. And I save, so let me open up the file itself to show you how it looks like. So this is how the issues will be shown. So you have your issues, then you have your status priority, your team owner of the issue, and then so on and so forth. So mainly it shows you the issue detail. So I close this, don't save. Then you can also export it to BCF. So now I export to Beam Cloud. So let's say, okay, I can go to construction site, and I mean under my own folder of this project itself. So I can put this under the construction and under the RFI, so I can actually save this. So in this case, I actually earlier on have actually exported some. So let's cancel this. So now we will see how we can import the issues. So you can actually so early on we exported that. So now we will import in maybe for this, and we can select. So for this is actually to locate the IRC file, which are optional, as you can read from here, and you can continue. And then you will see that your issues are being imported in. Okay, so next, other than that, you can also actually import markups from PDF file. So let's say you export, let's say this document set on all the floor plans, zones, ceilings. You want to check with your client whether they are okay with this design that you have created so far. So you can actually first set the publishing properties. I believe you guys know how to set this. You can go to save file, create a single file, so you can actually save it to a local file system or to Beam Cloud. And for in this case, I would like to save it to my Beam Cloud so that the client can access to it. So again, under my file name, so I have actually created for client input, so I can actually put it over here. So for drawing, so again, I actually previously have done the exporting. So this is how you can export, publish to the Beam Cloud. And now I actually wanted to just publish to my own file system, which I have already done so. So now once you actually receive this, the client have these drawings. Let's say he want to make some markups. So let's just say over here, he want to highlight on this area. Instead of having a living room and a space for instead of having a bedroom and a sort of a living room type, he can actually probably say merge the room. So something like this. So this is probably a design change that the clients want. So he can save. Then once he save this, I can go to import, and I select this file, and I open. So now it will show you which document in this PDF will have the issues. So you see earlier on, I have created an issue on this first floor. And at the bottom here, you can actually filter your issue. You can actually skip duplicated issues or modify issues. So this filtering option is actually because you can actually use Solibri or Bluebeam, which will help you to classify the issues better. And if you just use a normal PDF, so this is you don't need to skip the unidentified issues, and you can click import. So once you click import, you will see that there's two markups. So you can open the report, it will just show you something like this. And so in the issue organizer, you'll see that these are the markups. So with PDF. So this is this circle thing. If you create, you consider as one of the markup, and this is another markup. So this is how you can create the import issues from external sources. So for this session, we will not cover the Solibri and Bluebeam. We are mainly focusing on Archicad. So now let me go back to my PowerPoint. So as you can see that issue management in Archicad provide the following benefit. It actually able to provide a complete solution for issue tracking or management, and is able to integrate with other Archicad tools, and this will actually improve coordination and collaboration, and which ultimately will help you save time and cost savings. So before we end, we would like to highlight this again. We have this new challenge, the parametric object factory. So this challenge is to create a parametric object in Archicad using library PubMaker, GDL, and Paramore, either freestyle or architectural object. So this challenge, the jury will actually select the most interesting entry with attractive prices such as Apple iPad Pro. So the prices will be given separately from our international audience, which means that Singapore clients will have actually more chance to win. So our deadline is until 22nd January, which will be coming soon. So if you have any objects that you already created using either the library PubMaker, GDL coding, or Paramore, please scan the QR code and just submit. Maybe you get a chance to win this Apple iPad Pro. Okay, next we also have the Beam Author program coming up in Jan 24th, 2023. So if you are interested, you can also join, and this is actually a 12-month. This program actually will be available for 12 months, and you can actually access it anytime you want. And it's mainly is to help you to become a Graphisoft certified BIM author on modeling, documenting, scheduling, and presenting your project in a collaborative environment. Okay, so please follow us on social media to get notified on future events, and also to boost your knowledge from our YouTube page with tips and tricks, and all these webinars will also be uploading up there. So you can actually scan any of these. Actually, this is our social media. This is our YouTube page. So that's all for today. So far, do you guys have any questions?
Thank you, Melville. If you guys have any questions, please unmute yourself, or you can put it on the chat window as well. Maybe I'll start the recording.